Just a couple of quick announcements before we do our presentation tonight. A lot of you in the room here tonight got the emails about the MobiFire Creator release yesterday, I guess it was. It was actually Saturday when I started sending them out. The generate the software license code link that's inside the members area is not going to be there for very long. So if you haven't generated your license code, you need to do that as soon as possible. I'm going to be taking that link down probably next 7 to 10 days. I'm going to give it about 7 to 10 days for the people that bought the program a long time ago that can't find their license email so they can generate another code. So you need to do that as soon as possible to generate that license, because I know some of you are in the inner circle membership and you didn't have a license to start with, so you'll need to use it just to generate your first one. But try to do that as soon as you possibly can, because like I said, I'll be taking that link down. Got a couple more entries into our Black Friday sale for next Friday, not this Friday, but the next Friday. So I got a couple more of those in, still looking for a few more, so try to get those in to me. Michael says post the URL again. Michael, I can't post the URL to that in this public chat room. You have to send me a message through Skype or email to get it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started for our presentation. For those of you that are new here, there's a few new people in here tonight. I do these weekly webinars for you guys. It's usually I come on here and do a presentation or a demo of some sort, or sometimes we play a video. And there's nothing for sale here tonight. This is just a chance for you guys to see a presentation and then get a chance to ask me questions and get answers. Usually I have a list of web questions that I've gotten through the week, but because of the work I had to do last week of getting the MobiFire update ready, I didn't get a chance over the weekend to compile the questions. So those questions will have to wait until next week that I got this week, unless you're on here tonight and you want to ask the question again. So if you're on here and you did send in a question, you can ask it again tonight. Who was it saying they couldn't hear? Are you guys still not hearing me? Deb's not hearing me? All right, one more check, guys, before we load the presentation. If you guys can hear me, type yes in the chat box. I want to make sure everybody can hear me before I continue on with recording this. Okay, good. All right, so if you guys remember from last week we went over a traffic strategy of using image sharing sites for getting traffic. Tonight we're going to go over something completely different. It's something you may not have heard of, and if you have heard about it, not many people talk about it at all. But we're going to talk about getting search engine traffic from a different type of search engine that most people don't think about when they're trying to get listed in the search engines. Most people, like I said, when they think about search engine traffic, they think about Google, Bing, and Yahoo as being the ones that you need to get the traffic from. They're not the only types of search engines that are out there. Now, granted that Google has the most traffic of all the search engines, of course, followed by Bing and Yahoo, which Bing and Yahoo are now owned. Bing now owns Yahoo, so they're basically the same search engine, even though they've kept them separate, still yet as separate entities, but they are still the same company now. But that's just the traditional search engine traffic. There's, like I said, there's other types of search engines that you can be ranking for. So what we're going to talk about tonight is question answer search engines. And there's a few of those out there, but not many of them that you can actually get listed in, get your websites listed in. The biggest one is Ask.com, which is the largest, most visited question answer type search engine. Ask.com, originally known as AskJeeves.com, is owned by IAC, which is Interactive Corp, which owns several other question answer database type search engines, such as Dictionary.com, Thesaurus.com, About.com. Not many people know that Ask.com is owned by, or IAC owns About.com as well, and then UrbanSpoon.com. Ask.com started out as, like I said, Ask Jeeves, and it started out in 1996. But in 2010, the competition from the other search engines was really fierce, so they decided to change their format to a question answer type database, and they wanted to capture a different niche of search engine traffic. So Ask Jeeves was reborn as Ask.com, and despite the competition from Yahoo Answers, which is the second most trafficked question answer type search engine, they became the industry leader for the question answer searches. So you're probably wondering, how do you get listed in Ask.com? Now, it's almost impossible to get listed in Dictionary.com or Thesaurus.com unless you have a site, that is tailored to, providing, descriptions and answers to, words and phrases. Like, there's some sites out there that particularly cater to, urban slang and that type of thing, and they'll get listed in Dictionary.com and Thesaurus.com. But generally, what most people want to try to get into is Ask.com, and there's a really easy method for getting in there. It just takes a little bit of work to get listed there. The easy answer to that, and the clearest solution, is just to provide clear questions with answers on your website. Because what they're searching for, what Ask.com is listing, is questions. They sort of go by keywords in a way, but more or less, they're looking for questions that are being answered on people's websites. And if they see a valid question with a good answer to it, that the answer relates back to the question, and then that's what they want to list in their database. And the best way to do this is with either help pages or FAQ pages. Now, a lot of niche websites and blogs will have help sections and FAQ sections, and these are the most index pages that are in Ask.com, is blogs that are tailored around one particular niche, where they have questions that people have asked commonly, and then they provide the answers for them. So if you create pages that are strictly questions and answers, and your page stands a real high probability of getting listed and ranked with Ask.com. Now, here's a strategy that you can use to help further increase your likelihood of getting listed. If you create an FAQ page of at least 10 to 15 questions, and then, like I said, these are real valid questions, make sure that they read out as a real question, and then each one of the answers has a minimum of 50 to 100 words, then that's the type index that Ask.com is looking for. If you create a page like that and then go to this website here, PingSiteMap.com, they ping Ask.com first and then Google and Bing. So the first one they ping is Ask. So Ask really looks for feed from PingSiteMap. And then later, if you follow up 3 to 5 days later and add like five or more questions on, again, each one of those answers needs to be 50 to 100 words, and then just keep pinging your site every 3 to 5 days when you've added a few more questions. Ask.com will start to visit your site on a regular basis. If you repeat this process for a good 6 to 8 weeks, it takes about 6 to 8 weeks for Ask.com to really decide whether your site is worth listing in their database. If you repeat that process of adding a few questions every week, 3 to 5 to 10 questions a week with good solid answers to them, then Ask.com is going to list your website in their database. Now, you may be wondering, how much traffic does Ask.com get? They're listed right now as the number 5 most trafficked website on the internet according to Alexa. So they get a lot of traffic. And now, part of that traffic that they get is not necessarily so much people that are going directly to Ask, but there's a side benefit of being listed in Ask, in that Google and Bing and Yahoo also polls the Ask.com search result listings and list those inside their search results. So that's where a good chunk of their traffic is coming from, is by providing those quality answers to questions. Google and Bing and Yahoo are looking for that same type of thing. Another thing you can do to help get your sites listed in Ask.com is to, in some of your keywords, some of the answers, link to full articles about the keyword. Not only are they looking just for questions with good answers to them, they're also looking for questions that lead to an article that has an in-depth answer to a question. So if you link to a keyword to a good article along that same line of the question that was asked, that's another good strength indicator for getting your site listed with Ask.com. There's lots of people, Roy, that use Ask.com. I've got some relatives that instead of going to Google, they go to Ask, because they feel like that it's better to ask a question than to just type in a keyword In fact, they don't even know what keywords are. They don't know to go in to search for Kelley Blue Book. They'll go in and say, where is Kelley Blue Book? So they go to ask.com to ask that question. So that there's a lot of people that do that. Now, another thing you can consider doing is after you've got this strategy going, you've gotten, a good size FAQ or help page going, you may want to split it off and make several different pages. What you could do is create a breadcrumb trail. I'm not sure if you guys know what breadcrumb trails are or not, but there's a lot of plugins you can get for WordPress that will create those for you. But what they are is it's a page that links to another page and has a reference back to the previous page. If you create those breadcrumb trails that link to another FAQ or help pages specifically about that one subset of questions, that helps a lot too. And because see, what ask.com is looking for is a site that has a lot of database of knowledge on a particular niche or a particular topic. So if they see that you've got a FAQ page that's updated regularly, and then they see that you've got multiple FAQ pages that split off into subsets of that same topic, well, then that's the kind of stuff they're looking for, what they want to put in their search engine database. Yeah, Dana, there's a lot of themes that have breadcrumb trails already built into them, and like I said, there's plugins you can get even if the theme you have doesn't do it. There's plugins you can get that will do that as well. And like I said a minute ago, another side benefit is that Google, Bing, and Yahoo will list your Ask.com listings in their search results, because like I said, they're looking for the same type of information. It's just they're not looking for questions so much like Ask.com is. So a lot of times if you go to Google and type in a question, it will actually pull up listings from Ask.com that have that same question that they've indexed it in their search results. Now, has anybody looked at, I know a lot of you have your own websites. Do any of you look at your cPanel website stats and ever see Ask.com listed as one of the search engine bots that comes and visits your website? Has anybody looked for that? You might want to take a look at that. Most websites inside the cPanel, there's a section where you can look at your website stats, and the one I like to use is called AW Stats. Some people call it AWS Stats. But if you look at some of the website analyzers that are inside your cPanel, they usually have a section that shows the search engine bots that are visiting your site. And if you've got a good database of articles, or like I said, you've got a help page or an FAQ page, there's a high chance that Ask.com has been to your site and has at least visited at least once. But if you've got a good set of questions that are being answered, or articles that answer questions, you may see where they come back regularly to check your site, and you're probably being listed there and don't even know that you're being listed there. But if you use this strategy I just gave you, it'll increase it a lot, and it doesn't take that much. I mean, if you're involved in any kind of niche or a topic at all, there's usually some sort of forum that's on that same topic. You can just go to those forums and gather a list of the questions, and just take them, use the forums, the answers that people are given to create the answers for the questions. And that's, that gives you a huge head start for getting listed there. Like I said, they're listed right now, the last time I checked, which was last Thursday or so. They're the number 5 most visited site in Alexa. So they get a lot of traffic, and like I said, a bulk of their traffic is coming from the listings that are of theirs that are indexed by Google and Bing and Yahoo. So, it's not a search engine that you want to ignore, even though, it may not be the number 1 search engine that people are using. They still get a lot of traffic. And like Roy was saying, there's some people that they don't know, that they can just type in keywords into a search engine. They feel like they have to ask the search engines a question. And a lot of them go to ask.com first. And one of the places that Ask.com gets a lot of their traffic from is when people install a Java update. Usually in that Java update, there's a checkbox to ask people if they want to install the Ask toolbar. That's another way that they get a lot of traffic, is by having that toolbar in people's Internet Explorer browsers. Anyway, guys, like I said, it doesn't take that much to create a help or an FAQ page. start out a good one with 10 or 15 questions, and then ping it with the link that I gave you, and I'll give you guys on the replay the PDF that has that link in it. But just ping it once you've created one, and go back once a week or so and just add a few more questions to it. And if you just do a steady repetition of doing that, in about 6 to 8 weeks, with Ask coming back and seeing that you're keeping that page updated, you'll definitely get listed there, especially if you've got good solid questions, and you've got good, really descriptive answers for those questions. Thing that says a few questions on an FAQ page, need to get back and expand it. Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have that, because it also helps with the visitors that you have that come back to your page on a regular basis. If you have an FAQ page, it could save a lot of support questions as well. So it's not a bad thing to have one, even just for that reason. Even if you're not going to try to get listed in the search engines for having a good question answer section, it's good to have it just for your clients and customers and website visitors. Jen says, what are good sources of questions? Forums are the best place to get questions. The second best place would be Yahoo Answers. You can go to Yahoo Answers and do the same thing, type in questions there, and get answers, and you can see questions that people have already posted. So that's another good place to look for questions and answers that you can use. Now, you don't want to just direct copy what you find in the forums and over on Yahoo Answers. You want to take the answers and try to reword them a little bit. Maybe run them through one of the content spinners or something, just to change them up a little bit, and make sure that they're good readable answers. If you do that, a lot of the content spinners you get will spin things they're not readable after that. But that's the two best places to go, with forums being the number one. And of course, there's lots of blogs too that you go to, but a lot of times with blogs, you have to really dig through a blog to find, several good questions and answers. Yeah, and just like Roy's saying, your email list, if you've got a list built in a certain niche, that's another good place to get questions from people that have sent you questions through emails. Okay, like I said, guys, I didn't have time to get the questions together from the emails that I got over the past week because of the MobiFire update. So we'll just take your guys' questions if you have any. But like I said, I'll have to do the questions I got in the email next week, since I didn't have time to put them all together in one file. Jen says, can we link to articles or other big blogs? You can link to articles of your own, and Ask doesn't mind that, but linking to other big blogs, it'll help you as far as having offsite links as far as the other search engines, but it won't help you with Ask that much. And in fact, it may, depend on how much of it you do. If you link out too much, it may hurt your listing over on Ask.com if you link out too much. But it definitely does help with the other search engines, because they want to see that you link to authority sites from your own site. Of course, they don't want to see a lot of it either, but they do want to see that. So if you're linking to your own articles, it would help tremendously. Thing that says, set up a free survey at SurveyMonkey, then ask your list to send in their questions, answer them on an FAQ, and direct them there. That's another great idea for getting questions that you could put on an FAQ page, Dana. And SurveyMonkey, like you said, you can set up a free account over there, and you can ask, a basic survey type question over there. Set up a basic survey for free. They don't charge anything for it. When you want to add the extras to it, like I wanted to do the voting poll, they wanted to charge for that type of thing. But just general survey questions, they'll let you do that for free. And a lot of people don't know that you can do that for free over there. You can have multiple surveys. They don't limit you on the amount of basic surveys you can have over there at all. Okay, do you guys have any other questions on the presentation, or do we need to move on? Do you have any other questions on something else? Now's a good time to ask, since we've got everything working now, it seems. I think most everybody in here is, let's see, I think most everybody in here has seen the link to the poll. Oh, Vincent may not have seen it. We post the link to the poll in here again for you guys in case you haven't voted yet. accidentally turned off my microphone, guys. Sorry about that. I just posted the link to the voting in case you hadn't been there yet. We're going to be running that until 8 o'clock Wednesday evening, so I'll probably send out another email about it to my list tomorrow. I think Roy sent out one today to his list. I don't know if Jen's mailed hers or not. Dana, I'm on her list. I've seen one go out for hers. But if you haven't mailed your list, guys, go ahead and mail your list about those. Because like I said, we're going to run that voting poll until 8 o'clock Wednesday evening. So you still got time to get some votes. Yeah, Jen, you need to be politicking, trying to get some votes. One thing I wanted to tell you guys that do have access to the MobiFire software, a question I got today, and I spent quite a bit of time on Skype today with a guy that ran into this problem. One of the bonuses that you get is the Magic 8-Ball source code. You got to be careful with creating those type of apps because Google Play Store is really, really particular about copyright infringement and trademarks. So if you're going to create one of those Magic 8-Ball type apps, be sure you don't put the words Magic 8-Ball in the title or in the description, and try to stay away from trademark and copyright images and names in your app title and your app description. There was the guy I was talking to today, he had created one, I forget what the topic was he created on, but Google Play Store sent him, they'll send you 3 notices, well they'll send you 2 notices first. The first one's a warning to change your app to republish it without the copyright infringements. And then if you don't do that, they'll send you another warning saying that they're going to suspend the app and give you a chance to again to republish. But if you don't do it then, that third time, they send you an email saying they've suspended the app. If they do that 3 times, they find 3 apps that they've suspended in your account, they'll terminate your whole Google Play Store account, which means you'll lose every one of the apps that you have published. So I'm going to put a disclaimer up on that download link to make sure everybody knows that, but I just want to tell all you guys that are here that have access to that software, be careful with copyrights and trademarks in your app titles and your description and in using any images. Just to give you an example of how picky they are, I had an app that I had published called Spider Dude, and it was a knockoff on Spider-Man. I'll grant you that. It wasn't hard to tie the two together, that it was actually an app about Spider-Man. But I used, like I said, a different name, and I used a hand-drawn image of a guy that looked like Spider-Man. It wasn't the same caricature as Spider-Man, but Google sent me an email saying that was too close to copyright infringement. They didn't say it was copyright infringement, but they said it was too close. So they asked me to unpublish the app. Of course, when I got the notice, I did. But that's just how particular they are about protecting people's copyrights and trademarks over there. Okay, well, guys, if you don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and call it a night tonight. I hate that we got started so late and I didn't get to answer any of the email questions. I'll get to the email questions next week. There'll probably be several from this week and then ones from last week. I hate that I didn't get those collected over the weekend, but I was tied up with that update and then all the support requests, so I just didn't have time to gather them for this call tonight. I'll provide, like I said, the PDF slideshow with the link to that ping site for the Ask.com training that we had. Like I said, I highly suggest you guys start that. It doesn't take long to create a help page or an FAQ page, and just as you have time, once a week, every week or so, add a few more questions and answers to it. And like I said, you'll get listed in the Ask.com database if you just stay regular with putting questions and answers on your website. Use that strategy that most people, like I said, are ignoring, and like I said, you'll also be helping yourself with the other search engines, by having, good quality content over that they're also looking for. But if we don't have any other questions, we'll go ahead and call it a night. Thanks for coming, guys. Like I said, I apologize for it taking so long. Next week I'll be sure and have Skype turned off before I try to load Camtasia, so maybe we won't have so many problems next week because of my Skype taking over my computer again. But I appreciate you guys coming tonight. Use Inner Circle, guys. I'll see you Wednesday night, and we'll have the big announcement of who the winner is. Email your list, guys. Try to get your votes in. Deb saying, did I miss an update? RE, the local business marketing. Deb, I haven't put that out yet. I got tied up with the MobiFire thing this weekend. I've started collecting the stuff, but I didn't get a chance to put it out yet. So that's coming later this week, but you will get it. It's just I didn't have time to work on it this weekend. I didn't know that the MobiFire thing was going to take up my whole weekend. Anyway, thanks for coming tonight, guys, and I'll see you later. Have a good week.